This is where the fun begins.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to a special edition of CAFF Chat. I did miss you yesterday. I had to be at the doctor's office, and that kind of ran over later than I expected. But I took the opportunity to come and visit with you and do a special edition CAFF Chat for all the news that's been coming out with the current state of Star Wars, Disney's Star Wars. That's the news coming out with Disney Star Wars. Do we have anything for classical, original? No, we don't. But here I am. I thought that I would sit here and give a little bit of my point of view. Of course, we'll be speaking about this more on the spacing, more than likely. So stay tuned for that tonight. Tonight on the spacing, I'll be there as well. So thank you guys for tuning in. And I hope you guys are all doing well. And first of all, before we really get into some of these topics that I want to talk about, what do you think about today's news with everything that was shared today, with Kennedy showing up on screen and working as the president of Disney Lucasfilm like she has been hired to do? What was your take on all of this? How do you feel? So you don't have to give a huge explanation, but were you laughing at all this irony and this hypocrisy that you've been seeing from other YouTubers that have been posting that she's out, and Dave and Favreau saving Star Wars? I mean, so what's your take on that? I want to see it in the chat, and I'm going to go ahead and say hello to everybody. This is not the normal CAFF Chat because we're not going to be breaking down too much of the lore. I might get into Heir to the Empire lore because of the topic that's going to be coming up for that. But besides that, we're going to talk about the current state of Star Wars. What do you think? And let me go ahead and scroll up on the chat, my side of the chat here. And thank you, Orange Hat, for coming in and modding. I did make him a mod for a bit, and he still is one right now. And then we have Robert DeCosta, the Disney Jedi Order with Rey, Grogu, Ahsoka, and Ezra. Yeah, we'll get to that too. So I'll break a lot of this stuff down, and then this conversation will carry on, with myself and with Tim and Greg. And I don't know if we're having Star Wars Man Explained. So I'm excited to be on live with him on the spacing. So let's see here. Yodeling is a Mandalorian. Yes. So like yodeling, yodeling. That's what I got in my head when I read that. And then let's see here. And of course, I do have Soul Assassin, my longtime mod here. Thank you so much for coming in and modding. Jedi Padawan Trailer, another channel member, as well as Jason Fox. So here we go. I am here today. Was a great day for Star Wars. So you already answered right away before I brought this question out. I mean the Shinda fraud. I probably said that wrong. I'm sorry. Was lovely. I know. I kept getting notifications since 5:30 my time. And so I kept waking up. What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? Then I thought, you know what? Shit, I should have stayed awake and I should have just went live at the time. But I didn't. I wanted to get my sleep because sleep is important to me. So here we are. So I had to go to work, did what I needed to do, taught my class, and here we are now. So, and then we have Miss Martin Muses here with her hand wave and rose. Thank you so much. And then Matthew Godet, Filoni adapting Heir to Mandoverse. We'll get into that because it's not Heir. It's not Heir to the Empire, but we'll get into that, and I'll share why. Not sure whether it fills me with rage or maybe I should just laugh it all off. They're getting exactly what they deserve. They decide to toss the EU for creative freedom, and look at, they don't have any original thoughts, original creativity themselves. So there you go. And I am enjoying a coffee beverage. This is from a local coffee shop called 111. So it is um an ice drink, of course, and it has coconut. So there we go. I forgot the name of it. A blonde coconut or something. I don't know. I don't remember the name. And Soul Assassin, I guess y'all saw the Star Wars news too. Yes, you are one of them that was DMing me with some information. And I'll share more about the Acolytes too with that. Now let's see here. We have Crimson Mist. Good afternoon, OG in chat, and good afternoon to you. And then another channel member. Hi, OG, and hello to you, Rodimus Prime. Thank you for tuning in. And unfortunately, Soul Assassin, yeah. So everybody, Dad Man Walking, hello. I have a lot of channel members tuning in right now, and I'm so grateful for every single one of you. Howdy, happy to be here in one of the last bastions of the real Star Wars. Yes, yes. And let me see. You guys are getting into your answer to what I said. Trash. Star Wars is Dead by Preston. And then Holocron Library Fox. Hello, Lauren. Hey, hello, chat. And then let's see here. Jedi Padawan trailer. Hail, everyone. Was watching another YouTuber while I waited. Oh my God, I think I hurt myself face palming. May I ask who you are watching? Dave is trash. Stop simping for him. Yes. Stop simping for him. I've seen like the last night into today. I've seen that picture where you have someone praising Dave Filoni's face like he's God. That's ridiculous. I mean, I don't even do that with George. I know George contradicts himself. I know that. I know that he contradicts what he says all the damn time. You can look up the history of all his quotes and what he said, and they don't line up. And then his company has to scurry along and correct everything he said, according to company policy and what they set up and stuff. So we have that. And then let's see here. And it was great. Yeah, I bet it was. Yeah, I was kind of, following you a little bit there on your postings as well. Called Heir. We will discuss that a little bit more because it's not Heir to the Empire. And I'll give you why I see it as not that way. It's a callback. That phrase she does is a callback, just like, like they do member berries, but it's not the Heir. And so, yeah. I guess the Civil War is over. Y'all, yes it is. It's over. It's done and over. It's been over since it's never been on. There was never a Civil War. So I can't say it's over. It never began. It never began. But we'll get into a little bit of what Doomcock said too. So be aware of that. Orange Hat says, taking the new Jedi Order name is going to piss off a lot of fans of the... It already has. I've been seeing a lot of the EU fans that I follow are just get recommended to me because that's relatively what I do. And they're not happy. They're not happy whatsoever. And then CJR, hey, what's up? Hello there. And let's see, Preston says, Dave needs to be fired. Tuscan Bob and other channel members in the chat. I'm pissed at no Rian Johnson movie announcement. Damn, but his predecessor, his apprentice, Filoni is getting a movie. So be happy for that. He is getting a movie. So he must have trained him so well. Expect subversions of expectation, all of that. So at least be happy that his predecessor, the one that he trained, Filoni, is getting a movie. And then pronouns the okay. Schadenfreude. Okay. Schadenfreude. Okay. It will fill people with rage on social media. Orange. Yeah. So let's see here. And then anyone who like Disney Star Wars are simping sheep. And I think that there's a video on already with people breaking down with excitement and whatever. The shilling was what I mean about even the Ahsoka trailer. Okay, so I'm going to finish going through this and we'll get into what I want to discuss. So Stig says they know better, Orange. Yes. And let me see. Matthew Gaudet says, don't know what to think of Mangold doing Star Wars. Indiana Jones looks like garbage. That's the thing. That's another thing. if it's going to be garbage, if it's not going to be good, then why are they crossing him over? Just something to think about. Just something to think about. But oh, wait. Kennedy must be, just screwing things over. And then so Filoni and Favreau are doing the same thing to buy time. Does that make sense to you at all? Kennedy is screwing over Filoni and Favreau's projects. So then Favreau and Filoni are screwing up their own projects to pay her back. That's not how a fucking company runs, you guys. Common sense, people. Don't believe that. That's... Disney's losing money because they're screwing each other over with their productions. There you go. That in short. What a fucking idiotic take. I'm sorry. I'm already at it. I didn't drink anything today. My zen from teaching yoga is gone out the door. It's been gone. I was teaching yoga and I'm like, okay, I need to go and talk what I need to talk about. Let's see here. Never started the Lucasfilm Civil War. Did. Right. The Ace 2 is here. The fake cowboy ruined Star Wars. Filoni. Yeah, Filoni. There you go. Let's see here. And what is sad is how cruel people were to those who doubted Star Wars is safe. That's another thing. And we'll get into that right now before I start getting into the other things. So I like to observe. I like to do my research. And I'm not the one to believe rumors. And if I hear a rumor, I will go investigate it. I'll go look into it. If there's no such evidence, I'm not even probably gonna take it with a grain of salt either. I'm just gonna be like, okay, well, how come this here shares something different? And so when I pull out the information that I found, then they move the goalpost to like, oh, well, they have to, talk that way to save face, to save their job. Really? Okay, so you're saying everything that maybe Favreau said about liking Kennedy, like working with her, connecting the sequel trilogy or the Disney trilogy, that's to save face so he can keep his job. He's in such a high profile job, like in the company. He doesn't need, to be a Star Wars. He doesn't need Star Wars or Lucasfilm to be successful. And he can easily walk away. And, so everybody's moving the goalpost with that. And basically going into cognitive dissonance. There's a lot of that going on right now. So let's see here. The usual suspect. Yeah. Oh my God, you guys are just rolling in the chat today. Thank you so much. Filoni wants to be the same as Lucas. And that's the thing too. People are now posting, he's the next George. He's going to save Star Wars and blah, blah, blah. No, he's not. He's not the next George. There will never be another George. And George never trained him to produce movies. He hired him to do the cartoon show. Now, the one that trained him for movies, Rian Johnson. So people, if you're going to praise anybody for Filoni coming in to make a movie, praise Rian Johnson. Praise him, because he's the one who said that I got to go in and help with The Last Jedi. I got to know how the camera works. I got to know how to direct through Rian Johnson. So if you want to praise anybody, praise Rian Johnson for Filoni's promotion. Praise him. And then hope maybe Rian Johnson, since you're there, praise Rian Johnson. Hope that Rian Johnson comes back to get his own movie again, because obviously he left quite an impression that this golden child, Filoni, got to get a movie. Think about it. Think about it. So they had the Mount Tantus and the Bad Batch. They brought it back. That doesn't mean that it's heir to the Empire, because that Mount Tantus is way off schedule, all of that, or like off the timeline and stuff like that. That doesn't mean that that's proof it's heir to the Empire. It just means that they brought it in, like an Easter egg. Like, remember the EU, the thing that you learned about? Well, we're going to bring it back. Be happy, EU fans. You know, this is how I feel about that, okay? You got a raw OG Star Wars here, you guys, okay? So enjoy this while you can, because I'm usually a little bit more structured. Matthew says, but they will bring in Disney Thrawn. Well, yeah, they're going to bring Disney Thrawn in. So let's go ahead and start getting into these announcements because, you know, we keep going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, and you guys have a lot to say. So do I. Have I ever believed in the rumors? No. With Thrawn, did I know he was coming back? Yeah. And that was, and we'll just get into that first. The Ahsoka show. So, and I'll just go ahead and pull that up and then I'll get into the article that I have here. Rebels epilogue. So the ending of Rebels, we had, you know, Ahsoka and Sabine or whatever her name is, or some of them, and I'm not guessing who exactly was in the scene because it's been a long time since I watched or viewed that epilogue. And I didn't pull it up because I got home to kind of get myself freshened up from teaching. So the epilogue was basically Ahsoka and a bunch of them saying, we need to go find Ezra and Thrawn. So that was the setup of Thrawn's return. And then we get into what? The Mandalorian with Ahsoka. And then she's like, looking for Thrawn. So that's the continuation of the setup. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and remove one thing and bring up another thing that I need to bring up. So let me see here. It goes into Doomcock, and we're going to specifically talk about Ahsoka first before we get into more Filoni and all that. So here you go. So with this, so, and that's my, like, I needed to do a sigh. I needed to, like, blow off a little bit of steam through my sigh. So, Doomcock is claiming he was right. While it is possible this is more BS from KK to try to sour any positive momentum from Favreau Filoni following the Thrawn reveal in Ahsoka, a rumor I broke quite a while back, by the way, and no, he was not right. If this is true, Star Wars is finished, period. So, like I said, I already broke it down for you guys. Whoopsie, I didn't mean to not get rid of that. There we go. I already broke it down for you guys. Rebels, you already set up Thrawn's return. Now, when you look at the timeline, his return's not going to be necessarily in the OT era. So it has to be after Return of the Jedi. But it was already set up for Thrawn's return because they were searching for him. And then once we get to Mandalorian, Ahsoka's still looking for him. So we knew this was coming up. We already knew that they were going to bring him back somehow. So Rebels revealed it first. Let me see here. Man, you guys are just, I got a lot of comments here. Sorry if I'm going to skip over some of your guys. It's no intention of that. So we have that. And why I am bringing this up is because a lot of people take these channels for more than just a grain of salt. They take them as fact. And these were the kind of people that follow blindly without looking further into the circumstances that's going on. And then coming at us with like gaslighting, negative responses, we're wrong, they're right kind of deal. And I was proven wrong last night or yesterday, and I will admit it because they were like, oh, rumor, Filoni is going to get a movie. And I'm like, okay, whatever, yeah, right, kind of deal. Well, it was announced. Okay, so I was wrong, and that's fine. Do I agree with it? No. Do I still feel the same about if he got one that I would want to see it? No, I wouldn't want to see it. So that's the thing. And it's all about bowing down graciously, admitting you're wrong at times, because we all are. We are human. We're all wrong at times, okay? But to double down and keep doubling down like he is here. he still thinks that KK is trying to sour the positive momentum of Favreau and Filoni. She was up there on stage announcing Filoni's getting a movie, up there announcing and cheering on the Ahsoka show. That's not souring anything. Do you see how he is like weaving this in to still make it look like there's a civil war because he was wrong? They're all incoherent with each other. They're all in it with each other on what's coming out with the production of the movies. Now, what do I think about the movies like that were canceled versus now what the movies we're getting? Part of me, and this is just me, I'm not basing this on any sources or anything like that, but part of me thinks like some of these movies that they were going to have come out were then canceled because they wanted these new showrunners that they brought in, like Filoni and the other two, to make the movies. So it sounds like they were just shifting on who they wanted to make movies. That's all it sounded like to me. Do I have proof? No. But that's just how I'm looking at it. Now, are we going to see with their history of Lucasfilm firing directors and, canceling movies, are we going to see them cancel? Who knows? Time will tell. If they do cancel, I bet you they won't cancel Filoni's. I bet you they won't cancel Filoni's. And so that's just what I'm seeing here. Are they reconstructing their format for movies? Probably. When they laid off people, usually the people from the lowest positions will be laid off first, but then it will trickle to the top. If Kennedy was to be laid off, it would have been done already because they already started some of that. And a lot of companies are going through, reorganizing their companies because of the pandemics. They got to shift money, production, all of this to help their company survive. And I don't think like Disney is out of the, it's not the exception to the rule, basically, is what I'm saying. So there we go. So yeah. Yeah, so there's this. So beware of this because they're still moving the goalpost about the Civil War. Even though Favreau and even Filoni have stated time and time again how much they like Kennedy. No, they're not saving face. Oh shit, my cat's like bumping at my hair. Stop it. And then also saying that they're connecting everything to the sequel trilogy. And Filoni's movie is going to be like ending the Mandoverse, I guess you could say. That's what you want to call it, which means he's going to probably share how the First Order came to be because it's going to link up with the sequel trilogy. So keep an eye out with that. Keep your eyes open. Keep an open mind as well. But right here, Doomcock was not right about Thrawn's return because it already was shown that there was going to be return since Rebels. Let me see here what you guys have to say. Iger would totally allow a subordinate who plans to sack any day now to make major product announcements, right? And I can't wait to discuss and get on there and hear what you have to say about all this on the spacing tonight, because I'm pretty sure this is what we're going to chat about too. So yeah, let's see here. And I'm just going to go through various comments here, and then we're going to go off to the next one. I'm going to go to the article that I had pulled up. Ahsoka gives me feel like Mr. White in Clue, flames on the side of my face, hate. Well, I know. I've been seeing your breakdown about this. You're like, I hate Filoni even more after you watched the trailer. So let me go ahead and, since we're still on about Ahsoka, so Jedi Padawan trailer, beware. I'm going to go ahead and pull up another here, and we're just going to get into and break down this. So many people think because of this statement here that this is going to be a reboot or an adaptation of Heir to the Empire. I do not see it this way, because no way will this ever be, because we don't have Luke, we don't have the twins being, she being pregnant with the twins or anything like that. This is just one of those member berries, dangle the keys, remember heir to the empire. Well, Thrawn's back in about the same time frame as the original EU. That's all what this is about. It's just a callback. It's just like a dangling member berries, thing. And I was getting into a discussion, a back and forth discussion on Twitter. If you guys know me, I do it all the damn time. That with this comment, and what this discussion was about this comment was, I'm like, okay, so Palpatine is still alive. So how can Thrawn be an heir? I know Ahsoka doesn't know he's alive. Because if she fucking knows he's alive, then what was she doing in the meantime? Right? So, but what I stated is, how can he be an heir? And this is not necessarily saying that she knows when I commented about that, or anybody else knows. But my thing is, how can he be an heir? Because it's a stupid line anyways to do a callback on, right? It's just a stupid callback to dangle the member berries for the EU fans, because we must bring the EU fans in because we're losing a lot of viewers and blah, 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 all that. But anyways, I won't get into the dynamics of Disney Plus, the ratings on Mandalorian, all of that. This is not what this is about. So this is a callback for member berries. And my thing on this is, Thrawn is the key. And this is like, if you go into the original Thrawn's motives, like his tactical thinking, his brilliance in the original lore, right? The Disney Thrawn, he screwed up in the head. We all know that. He's not as brilliant as he was when he was originally written for the original EU. So if we get back to the original Thrawn, and Thrawn is Palpatine's, I guess you could say, person to get to know the unknown regions. Well, this Palpatine in the Disney lore, his planet Exegol is in the unknown regions. Thrawn would be Palpatine's person to learn more about the unknown regions, because that's their relationship, right? So with that, and I'm not trying to go into theories here, I'm just thinking the way that maybe, like, if it was a well-written story, which it's Filoni's Star Wars, it's not well-written, but if it's a well-written story, then Thrawn would be the person to help Palpatine find a proper planet, Exegol, learn the unknown regions, how to navigate through it, because of the Chiss, who basically know the unknown regions more than anybody else. You got a point there. And then, so my theory was on this, or not theory, I hate to say theory, but my thinking on this, on like, if you were to get into the dynamics of Thrawn, the original Thrawn, is that he helped Palpatine with navigating the unknown region so that they can find this planet Exegol that's supposed to be the new Sith planet or whatever. So there would be hints that he would know that Palpatine had a contingency plan, especially when you get into the lore, the Disney lore, not the original lore, that Palpatine was like, if I get killed, if I'm offed, if I lose my life, whatever you want to call it, then the Empire must end. You guys must all die yourselves, commit suicide, defragment, whatever, dismantle, whatever. So that's Palpatine's plan. Thrawn by that time is Grand Admiral, right? So you would think that he would know Palpatine's plan, since he's the top of the chain of command underneath Palpatine. So think about that. So all this is just a callback to dangle member berries. The events will not even align to be the same. Just because Thrawn is in there doesn't mean that this is an adaptation to Heir to the Empire. This is a continuation of Rebels. Because you've already seen everybody from Ghost Ship, all of them. Yeah, disperse. There you go. you see all of them from Rebels, from the ghost ship, returning. So it's just a continuation of their story. And this is set after 9 ABY. So that's after the time frame of even Heir to the Empire in the original lore. So this is why I'm saying don't look at this like an adaptation or call back to Heir to the Empire, because it is not that whatsoever. It is not that whatsoever. All they are doing is trying to appease EU fans on like, oh, look it. He is heir to the Empire, just like how Thrawn wrote him in the original lore. So we'll just do a callback. And I know that Dark Empire in the original lore happened to coincide next to Thrawn trilogy. So at that time frame of Thrawn, I guess he was alive, because I believe Dark Empire happened after the Thrawn trilogy. I know that. But my point still stands with how to look at Thrawn for the Disney. Because how Palpatine survived and his plan of survival is very different. The tools to get him there of, taking his essence into clone bodies, that's the only thing that's the same. But everything else, the events, everything else is different between the two lores. So you got to look into that. You got to analyze them in that way. So if Palpatine already had a plan for after he passes, after he gets killed or whatever, and he wants the Empire to disperse, basically, then Thrawn, because he's a Grand Admiral and he knows everything, he's supposed to be intelligent to figure things out and have everything, all the information in front of him. He would already know that already. So that's just something to think about. Not a theory, just looking in and breaking things down according to what is set up in the lore. Now, is Filoni going to make it that way? I don't think Filoni is that fucking smart to. Usually us fans will look into, analyze, and see, okay, this is what's happening. This is how this character is. This is how probably they should respond to, right? So that's why I am saying don't think of this as an Heir to the Empire adaptation or whatever, because it is not. It's just a continuation from Rebels. It just happens to be after Return of the Jedi in the new Republic era, because that's the only place where it's going to fit. So let me see what you guys have to say. Let me see. Man, you guys are saying a lot here. They keep wanting to give us characters in name only. I would not put it past them to give us Heir to the Empire in name only. And that's the thing. It's not really in name only either, because it's the events is going to, unless Thrawn is hiding the cloning facility for Palpatine, like one of the early ones, which you can maybe Mount Tantus or whatever, but still it's not the Heir to the Empire. Thrawn had the cloning facility for himself. If you get into the Thrawn duology, the Hand of Thrawn duology, it was about cloning himself. That's what all this cloning stuff was, and creating a new army basically with clones. So let's see here. Guess Swallow is packing up their desk right now. Ahsoka Sue on the case. Let me see. I already looked at that one here. Let's see here. As long as there isn't Disney Mara Jade, but Filoni has a favorite Ahsoka. Dead on the rep. Yeah, he's not going to use. Okay. I hate to say this. I'm not saying not, because, Filoni, any shit can happen, right? But I doubt he will use Mara Jade, because then she will shadow Ahsoka. I would be surprised if he brought her in. But by the way, and I'm just judging this on one trailer, by the looks of it, it's going to be all about the continuation of Rebel story. That's it. So there we go. It's just going to be a continuation of the Rebel story. Disney Thrawn is apparently an idiot from what I've heard. Yeah, he is. Incompetent Jedi. Thank you so much. And let's see here. This wars is nothing but a clusterfuck of bad stories telling and relying on all the old characters because they lack the real creative. Hail OG. And hello, Brimstone. How are you doing? And I didn't ask you what you guys were enjoying. Like I said, I'm enjoying a bit of cold iced coffee. Let's see here. And in name only. Let's see here. No appeasement till Kennedy's fired and the sequel trilogy is retconned. And it's not going to happen. Oh, and on top of that, before I move on from this topic here, I'm going into Filoni's movie, and then other stuff. It was rumored that they weren't gonna, like, they're live streaming the Shillibration, but they weren't going to live stream any panels she was going to be on because they're ashamed of her. Basically, they were ashamed of Kennedy, so they aren't going to live stream any of the panels she's going to be on because of how much she is hated. So that was what was said per a YouTuber or YouTubers, I would say, are basically their source, who has Hollywood connections and connections to the to Lucasfilm employees, what have you. So that, and then lo and behold, you get the first opening thing with Kennedy announcing the movies, Filoni and Kennedy basically making out on stage because he got a movie, Daisy Ridley walking up on stage, surprise, another movie's being announced, look who's coming back. And she was on the camera. So another thing debunked right there. Another thing debunked. Oh, and I'm still waiting to see. So you guys keep an eye out for this. I'm still waiting to see and hear, be reported to, that they are celebrating Kennedy's leaving, her exiting. That's what the Star Wars celebration's also about, is that it's going to be a quiet send-off for her. So stay tuned for that. Stay tuned for that. And like, you mean Disney ruining Jaina and Jason's names, but not for those characters, correct. Keep preaching, OG. Is this a mixture of Heir and Dark Empire? It's just that they're taking these beats, these story themes, and twisting them into their lore, where it's not recognizable or it's worse than what it was. Because Dark Empire, before the PT came out, Dark Empire was a very interesting story. And then when the PT came out, you're like, oh crap, it's contradicting, blah, 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 blah. But then you got to realize, okay, well, at least it's the Skywalker's son that defeated this clone of Palpatine. And then you have Thrawn saying, or Zahn having Mara's talking about later on that she doesn't think that was the true Empire, blah, blah, blah. So, a lot of this like course correction started happening. If you know behind the scenes stories, Zahn didn't really care about Palpatine's return, even though it was George Lucas who approved it. And then he didn't like the fact of clones, even though he brought back, Luke's clone. So there's all those back and forths in the pre-production during those times, which was very interesting. But yeah, Filoni is brain dead. Hey there, Rodimus Prime. OG was Darth Venomous and Darth Maul Sith, despite being a validation of the rule of two. All right, let's see here. Filoni doesn't have a thinking cap. He just has a cowboy hat. We won't go there. He's not doing it to appease EU fans, but because all he ever did was stealing others people's work. That's it too. So they have all stated in some way, shape, or form that they're not gonna, the EU is thrown to the side, but they will cherry pick from it, and kind of like bring some things back to appease the fans, the older fans. That was recently stated in some of their interviews anyways. So no, he doesn't respect the EU. That's from the start. We already know that. But then now he's circling around and saying, yeah, but This is for the long-term fans who grew up on those stories. So fucking stupid. I'm concerned the Old Republic, or for the Old Republic. There you go. We'll get into that too. And they only make things they want to see, not what the fans want to see. Someone said Darth Tantus was in Rebels. Didn't know, never watched. I have only seen certain scenes to do my research, so I can't confirm that. If any of you guys in the chat has watched Rebels, let us know. Let us know. All right, so let's go ahead and move on from this one here. And what do we have going on? Let's see here. All right, I'm going to remove here. And we're going to get into the article. It's going to get more into Filoni's receiving a movie deal and the movie deals that came about. Where is that? There we go. Let's see here. All right. Sure. There you go. I got it. All right. So here we go. So we have, this is from Hollywood Reporter. It's already been announced at Star Wars Celebration. I just wanted to get into this a little bit more here. But we have Star Wars movies that are coming out from James Mangold, Dave Filoni in the works. And what was that lady's name that's going to do the Rey, the post Disney trilogy one? I think it should be in here. So, of course, we had Daisy Ridley coming up on stage with her short bob hair. I know Lethal Lightning probably was very happy about this, I'll say the least. But man, look at that smug face. His head is like round like Rian Johnson's. They just were meant to be, weren't they? I mean, if you put Rian Johnson's face over his, oh my God, never mind. I'm not gonna go there. All right. So we know that here we go. So we know that there was movies that were canceled, what have you. We have James Mangold, Dave Filoni, and Sharmeen Obaid Chinoy will direct 3 new Star Wars movies featuring Kenny. So Kenny announced that at Star Wars Celebration. Again, if they were gonna, she's such a shameful human being that they weren't gonna show her on live, not even on the opening day. Well, whoever came up with that, chew on this. Because whoever your sources were don't know shit. And with great fanfare and to the utter delight of the rapt and screaming crowd in the XL Convention Center, it was also revealed that Daisy Ridley was returning to the Star Wars universe and would star in the future to be helmed by Obaid Chinoy. Kennedy said the company was working on expanding the mythological timeline created by George Lucas by pushing forward, backwards, and sideways. So they're stretching this shit out. They're warping it. It's not even going to be recognizable anymore, basically, is what she's saying, right? Mangold's movie is to be set in the deep past, while Chinoy's is set 15 years after the events of The Rise of Skywalker, the last Star Wars movie. So now you see, Mangold's movie is going to be about basically Dawn of the Jedi. Now, this was stated, on the spacing and before, but everything that they're bringing in, they're using past names. So when you go search for these events, you're going to get Disney Star Wars, and everything that came after is slowly being wiped away. We've been saying this for a long time now. So if they're going to use it, I haven't seen the emblems to see if it's called Dawn of the Jedi or not. I didn't go that far into seeing, because I know they had the screen up with all the emblems of each era that they're having movies or time frames in. So I didn't notice that. So please let me know in the chat. I'll take a look at that in a few minutes. So, but with Mangold, no, not Mangold. With Mangold. So with this one here, Chinoy's, Rey is going to be the founder of the new Jedi Order, and that's what they're calling it. That's what it's labeled right now. I did see that one because that one caught my eye. Because I love New Jedi Order. I love what got me into the EU was wanting to know if Luke followed through with his promise to Yoda on carrying on what he learned. And then Yoda stating in, and I'm going to keep on repeating this damn chapter, but Yoda even predicted that Luke and his sister will create the new Jedi Order, will take the Jedi in a new direction. And rightfully so. That was Luke's arc. Luke's arc really didn't finish in the movies. That was, in a sense, his beginning. Now, if you're just a casual moviegoer, that would be probably a happy ending because they won. You know, happy ending, they won. They defeated the Empire. But it's not Luke's ending. It's his beginning. And we know that Star Wars is not just a movie franchise. It's a multimedia franchise. In fact, the first piece of information, the first publication or the first bit of lore that came out was the novel to Star Wars, not the movie, the novel. And then after that, George, had comics made, and then other novels started coming out, especially like the what was that one called again? Splinters of the Mind's Eye. So it's a multimedia project or media franchise, not project, but franchise. So now after, if this fruitions and they don't fall back on their common history of firing and canceling movie productions, and this movie fruitions into the new Jedi Order under Rey, from there on, when you search up and want to look up Luke's Jedi Order and you type in New Jedi Order, you want to search the books, you want to search the timeline, you want to search characters from the New Jedi Order, that's all going to be all like flooded with new stuff because, like I said, they are taking everything and erasing. They're also erasing Luke's significance. When you watch Ahsoka, she's the main one during that time. It should be focused on Luke with the new order and all this other stuff. No, it's not. And that's why I say it's not going to be an adaptation or whatever to Heir to the Empire, because Luke's probably not even going to be in the show whatsoever, because it's all about Ahsoka. And then in that show, when you watch the trailer, because I did watch it, I did watch it. She's like, the Jedi are all gone or have, I forgot the first part of her sentence, but the second part is she's saying there's not that many Jedi now or something like that. And I'm thinking, first of all, the original lore, Luke, after Return of the Jedi, was the last of the Jedi, the first of the new. Okay, so I'm quoting Thrawn trilogy or Thrawn Heir to the Empire of what Obi-Wan was telling him. And he hasn't began to recruit anybody. But yes, he is training his sister, but she doesn't have time for it. She's being demanded as a politician, helping form in the New Republic, all of that. She's pregnant with the twins. Luke is doubting if he can train the babies when they get older, as they grow as Jedi, but he doesn't have an order yet. So basically, he's the last Jedi during that time, the first of the new. We see the development in the stages of him going forward to create the new Jedi Order. But in Ahsoka, no, there's Jedis that survived. She even said that there's few of them. And then when you watch at the end of the trailer, everything, those little tiny words, those little tiny phrases that are at the end of it, like warrior, rebel, outcast, Jedi, that's all about Ahsoka. So guess what? She's a Jedi now. That's what I'm getting at. She's a Jedi now. And then Filoni's feature is to be set in the so-called present, as it will act as a climatic event for the current Star Wars series, The Mandalorian, the Book of Boba Fett, and upcoming Ahsoka. Filoni is an executive producer and creative guide on these series. And they're so bad, too. Now imagine his movies. Imagine his movie. Or I say movies, imagine his movie. Do you think he's going to, take the Rian Johnson's subvert expectation and such, who knows? So let's see here. I have 26 beautiful souls here. Please hit the like button and let people know we're live. Splinter was also original sequel to to be filmed if Star Wars did not make more than 15 million. Correct. It was a backup plan. Right. Daisy is just an actress doing her job. Art. Daisy does not deserve any hate, and this is not hate. This is about the character, not the person. People need to disassociate. When you're talking about a character, you're talking about a character. Now, if you critique her acting, does that mean you're hating? No. It just means like, okay, she could have done better. She was wooden or whatever. That's fair. So people need to stop, spinning in these directions like we're attacking and, oh God, you're being racist or sexist or whatever. No, it's none of that. So let's see here. The reason there's no space battle, it's on a planet. No, Han. Splinters of the mind's eye. Let's see here. I love New Jedi Order. I don't want Rey anywhere near it. Well, and you know what? I predicted that from the beginning. The minute that we started like getting Rey being significant more than like Luke and all of this towards the end of that trilogy, I am like, she's going to be the founder of the New Jedi Order. I knew it from the beginning. So am I surprised? No. Do I like it? No. Do I see the errors in this? Like, yes, I do. Do I see that there are going against what George set up? Yes, I do. Are they honoring George? No, they're not. So think about that. So now that when you go watch, like I said, when you go search up like Tales of the Jedi, you're going to get more of Disney stuff first before you get more of the classical stuff. So keep an eye out on this. Decide where you want to be. Because this is basically erasing what came before. On how you search for it, how you can find materials to read the original stories, all of that. Mangold described his project as biblical epic. that would look like the origins of the Force to be set 25,000 years before any of the timeline stories told by the movies and shows so far. So there's going to be a big problem. So there's going to be a lot of retconning because when they retconned hyperspace travel. And even in the Thrawn book, during that time frame of Thrawn book, they talk about how hyperspace was invented like 1,000 years ago or a little over 1,000 years ago. And then so when you get into High Republic, they're barely mapping out the galaxy. So think about that. How in the heck are they going to be traveling in space? How are these, Jedi or whatever they're going to call them? How are they going to expand out? How are they going to have the influence too of where, how they have, like basically the Sith species and the Sith influence, the division. So, I'm recalling back just some of the history in the original lore. So how are they going to develop all of that? So there's got to be a lot of retconning. So you see how messy they are with their continuity. So it raises more questions than anything else. 25,000 years ago. So is it going to be on Tython? Was it Tython? I believe so. So, and how are they going to, and they moved Tython from where it's at, I believe. So it's not in the same place as it was before in the original lore. So he goes on and says, when I first started talking to Kathy, short name basis. I heard that like she just disappeared and that she's not involved in Disney Lucasfilm, that she's not showing up for anything and there's no word from her. I wonder if she's just working behind the scenes making deals for these movies. And so people don't know about it because, of course, she doesn't have to report to social media or to the public about what's going on in her job. Think about that. So about doing one of these pictures, what occurred to me was thinking about the kind of genre of movie within Star Wars I wanted to do. He said, and I thought about biblical epic like a 10 Commandments, about the dawning of the Force. Where did the Force come from? Well, if you read the original lore, you would know where the Force came from. When did we discover it? When did we learn how to use it? Well, that's already been explored somewhat And you can even talk to George about that too. And then Shinoy goes on. Meanwhile, said she is attracted to the idea of the hero's journey. Here you guys go. We're getting Rey with the hero's journey, and was keen on immersing herself in focus on the Jedi Academy and a Jedi Master. Yeah, Rey's going to be a master, you guys. I have spent the better part of my life meeting real heroes who are overcoming oppressive regimes. Oh, here we go. And battling impossible odds. And I think that is the heart of Star Wars, she said. What do you guys think about that? Overcoming oppressive regimes. So now, this is like 15 years out. What oppressive regimes are there now that they destroyed Palpatine and the First Order? So what is she going to bring now? Is she going to bring back more Sith? Are they going to have the First Order remnant? Instead of the Imperial remnant, they're going to have the First Order remnant here, so they're still fighting them. So just think about that. Really, for her part, didn't reveal too much, but did say, was thrilled to be continuing this journey. Her character, Rey, finished the 2019 movie by taking on the last name of Skywalker. Oh, that's another thing. And nod to carrying on the legacy of Luke and Leia. Luke and Leia Skywalker, she never used the name Skywalker as she became a full realized Jedi. Oh my god. I can't. I have to laugh at all this stuff now. It's funny. I mean, mind you, if you're Disney Star Wars fans, enjoy. Enjoy. I don't know why, but enjoy. Whatever. This is all for you. For those fans that are still like, I still like George Lucas era, there's a civil war, blah, blah, blah. You deserve this fucking shit. You do. Because you're not saving the franchise by supporting the good so they make the good. Look what's coming out. I think that theory that you had long since passed. Long since passed. You supported the good, and look what you get. Nothing's being retconned. Nothing's changing. They're still moving forward to the Disney trilogy. What do you think was going to happen? They don't care. As long as you give them money, they don't care. As long as you pay for the shows, they don't care. They're not going to switch directions. They're going to keep their focus on which way they want to go. They've proven that time and time again. They prove that time and time again. And I'm not going to read any more of this article. So let me return back to the chat here. What? Trump and Republicans laugh out loud. I don't know what that was from. Yeah, Typhon went from the center of the galaxy to the mid-rim. What the hell? Correct. Yes. It is funny. It is total horseshit, but it is funny. Correct. I mean, all you got to do now is just laugh at this stuff and enjoy original Star Wars, point out all the BS, whatever. And don't let people tell you, you're making me, like, why do you have to talk that way? You're making me not like this. I can't enjoy it because no. No one has control of your enjoyment of a show. If you want to watch it, enjoy it, watch it, enjoy it. What I have to say has nothing to do with your enjoyment. If you want to listen to what I say and let it ruin your experience, then that's you, not me. I'm giving my opinion. I'm giving my analysis. Okay. And I say, and still rumor channels get tons of views. Yeah, look at me. But you know what? My focus is mostly George Lucas era. Again, I do compare and contrast. Some people don't like that. That's fine. But my thing is about that. This is like a special edition CAFF chat where we're not necessarily going over the lore. Maybe a little bit of like the lore pertaining to some of these shows that are coming out, that to compare and contrast a little bit. But so this is the exception to the rule. Am I expecting a lot of people to subscribe? I'd love that. I would love to see them say, hey, you know what? Let's support this channel because she is giving us some true Star Wars, real Star Wars, pre-Disney. come in with an open mind and just listen, learn, have fun, nerd out. If you go support another channel, that's opposite of mine, fine. I can't control you, nor can you control what I do. Either you support or you don't. That's up to you. And I appreciate every single one of you guys in here today. Bob Iger said it himself. He doubled down on making this shit. Well, no, he said it before then. He said it when they were canceling those other movies. And then after that, this comes out. So in my mind, he's talking about the old stuff that was canceled. And now he feels good about this new stuff that was announced. Think about it. Okay. Lady of Iron. Nice to see the KOTOR and SOTOR fans standing together on not wanting Disney near it. And that's another thing. So we are going into that era too. And I was hoping like the New Jedi Order post Return of the Jedi fans would stand together and like, we don't want this bullshit. No. So these are two different crowds here. And I don't understand why. Let's see here. I'm not even supporting the video game CGI Luke shows anymore. They've fully destroyed Star Wars. Even decent fanfic like Mando is now dumpster fire. Wow, I'm sorry that you have to go there. Me, it's like I can distinguish between the two. So I'm good. I will go back and read, listen. I do have some games that I have to open up and play, explore, because like I said, I haven't played games in such a long time. I do have some Star Wars games that I was gifted. I just need to play them. I just don't have time right now, but I will soon. If you enjoy Disney Star Wars, that's fine. In my opinion, you're not a Star Wars fan, but by all means, like OG said, you deserve this garbage. And let's see here. High Republic already retconned Old Republic, correct? Correct. So we have these announcement here. So what do you think about each of these movies? Let me know. Like I said, I already gave my huge opinion about Filoni. If you're going to praise him for being someone's successor, that would be Rian Johnson. George never trained Filoni to produce movies. Rian Johnson did. So if you're going to praise him as a successor, it'd be Rian Johnson. I do have the Old Republic. I haven't started it yet. Oh, shoot. What happened here? Let's see here. Okay, here we go. I pressed the wrong button and you guys disappeared, and so did I. All right, much of the Star Wars fan is too weak to stand up to this rubbish. In fact, the only real franchise with the balls to really stick up for their original lore is Tolkien fans. So, and that's a whole different subject right there. I'm not going to get into at all. So let's go ahead and go on to the next topic I wanted to pull up. Let's see here. Present. I wish there was an easy way I can just pull everything up. Oh yeah, thanks to Soul Assassin, I do have the trailer clip to Acolyte. So let me see if I could pull that up here. Share. Wrong one. I think that's it. So the rumor is, the other rumor is that because of the lawsuit, Acolyte's not really gonna be produced. In fact, a lot of the actresses and stuff like that never showed up to film. It's just a hoax. Don't fall for it, YouTubers. You guys are crazy. You guys are black pills. Don't fall through for it. Well, they shared a clip of the Acolytes at the convention, at Shillibration. So I want to share this with you. Hopefully that this doesn't get this axed, but I want to share this with you. So there we go. Let's see here. View and Twitter. There we go. So this was shared with me, and you guys can take a nice, good look at this here. This was shared at the Star Wars Celebration, and this is basically a clip from Acolyte. What the Star Wars fans are gonna get, are the Disney Star.
Close your eyes.
Did you guys hear that? I hope. Let me make sure that I have that. You guys can hear that. They have been striking channels for the leaked footage. Oh boy. So this is, I'm not going to play it all the way through. It's shared on Twitter. So this is actually a clip from it. So we won't play it, just to be careful. I will be careful on this. There is production going on. So if you hear, oh, what is that thing? I don't know. But if you hear people say, oh, well, because of the lawsuit, the Acolyte's not really going to happen. Don't be fooled. Don't be fooled by those black-pilled YouTubers, what have you. No one really showed up for production. It's not real. It didn't happen. This proves that it happened. This proves that it's coming. It's going to come to fruition. Now, Disney does have a history, like I said, of canceling things or delaying things. That's just their history. Like I said, with Filoni and Mangold and all them, we have yet to see if those movies are going to actually happen. I'm predicting Filoni's will for sure happen because he is a direct employee of Disney Lucasfilm. So we'll see what happens. So I won't play this through. It's on Twitter. I've seen a few shares. I don't think it's been taken down yet there. But basically, it is a clip of Acolyte. So take it with what you will. It's going to happen. Or it's at least in production. There you go. So what do you guys think about the Acolyte? What do you think about that whole deal with the Acolyte? Let's see here. And I don't think there's anything else I want to discuss here. Yeah, I just wanted to come on and share my 2 cents about everything, analyze things, and further discuss it, especially about the Civil War. The Lucasfilm Civil War. There was never really one. Everybody has a complete, clear direction, goal on where they want to take this lore, and they're heading that way. They're wrapping up, they're connecting Return of the Jedi and events in between to The Force Awakens in their lore. That has been apparent since the beginning of The Mandalorian. And it's still connecting, it's still happening, it's still going on. Now, during this time frame, this next year to come, keep a clear eye open because we'll still be discussing about this because they will still be moving the goalpost from here to there. They'll be gaslighting, calling us names like black pills, or we don't know what we're talking about because, we don't have any insider connections or what have you. But, and also, Filoni and Favreau have to say certain things to save face because they need to keep their jobs. I think Filoni's job security, his job is secure. He has job security. Can I prove that he was put in the contract to keep and follow through with the acquisition of Star Wars or Lucasfilm? No, I can't prove that. But I know he has job security by the way they put him up on the pedestal. So, and then Favreau is under his coat. That doesn't sound good. Favreau's under Filoni's coat. Holy shit. But anyways, and so they have that job security. Kennedy, I said I can't prove it, but she has job security. She was appointed by George. Do we know that they can or cannot fire her? No. We can speculate. But she's going to leave on her own terms. She's going to leave with big success. Will she leave within a year? Who knows? Leaving on her own terms is very different than being forced out. So be aware of that. People want to coin it as her being forced out, so she's going to silently walk out. In fact, I think her boxes are slowly making their way out the door, I guess, from, people been saying that she's been leaving for the last 5+ years. It's like she has hell of a job security if they're trying to kick her out and she's still there. Right? So let me see what you guys have to say. Acolyte? Isn't that all the female woke show? I guess so. And then see, Acolyte, isn't that one of those done by Leslie Headland? Yeah. Harvey Weinstein's former assistant, correct. Lady of Iron it is. And it's gonna be Bantha Poodoo. It's gonna be nothing but a big old girl boss moment. Who knows? Only time will tell. I'm not sticking up for it either. I'm just saying who knows. But you're probably accurate. We'll see what happens. And then Soul Assassin, there was footage of Acolyte sets from other countries being filmed. I'm looking forward to all the channels with insiders trying to explain everything now. Correct. That's with everything today. Today was a glorious day in a sense because everything that I've been talking about and others, we are being confirmed that we know what we're talking about. We know what was going on, so let's see. Matthew says, so much of what they are doing tonally doesn't feel like Star Wars. Why erase George Star Wars and build Disney Star Wars on a wasteland on bankrupt ideas like Galaxy's Edge based on fake Star Wars? That's what they wanted. They wanted the freedom to create their own, but yet they don't have the creativity to do it. I thought Favreau was going to take over Lucasfilm, Disney Lucasfilm. I don't know. So they needed 10 plus years to explain how the heck we got from the Empire is defeated to the Empire is never defeated, just rebranded. Right? And that's another thing is like Filoni's show is going to talk about them, about them fighting the Imperial Remnant, I guess you can say. But then again, didn't the Imperial Remnant kind of like off themselves after Filoni's death? Like they're like, okay, we're dead too. We're going to dismantle, blah, blah, blah. Who knows? I don't know. I don't think they have a definitive plan on how to handle those circumstances. They know where they're going. They just don't know how to get there. They don't know. They don't know how to do the building blocks. Let's see here. And Luke's Jedi Order is a failure. The New Republic as bad as the Empire. That's another thing is that, now they're going to torture people to, mind wipe them, so that they can, do hive think, group think, I guess you can say. I don't know. It was all weird. That was weird. That was a weird circumstance to see on, in the Disney lore with the New Republic. She must have a lot of stuff to clean out her desk since it's taken that long of a time to leave. Yep, I agree. I hope they go bankrupt. They deserve that for all the horrible stuff they have to this fandom in lore. And that's the thing. So again, keep an eye out. Celebration has just begun there. More news is for sure going to come out. And all of that. People that you probably talk with on Twitter who you thought maybe were, I wouldn't say fighting the good war or the good battle, but thought maybe that they were in the same mind frame as you are revealing that, Luke, was never really about Luke after Return of the Jedi. So, blah, 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 so they're going to seem like they're going to start like being okay with the direction that they keep going without Luke, just to kind of fit in or feed or be okay with what Disney is doing. So keep an eye out for that, whether you disagree or not with me or them. And have original thoughts. Question everything. Look back at the lore. Everything that you see in the EU under George was there because he set rules. He wanted them to be there. He set people in place to know exactly what George wanted. And so that's why they're there. So what they're doing now is not honoring the direction George wanted. Even when people say, Luke went in exile in George's treatments. Well, yeah, he went into exile or sabbatical or whatever you want to call it after Crucible. That kind of fits in there. So think about that. Be aware. Not usually, what came before the original stuff is always the good stuff. When you go back and recreate it, you're just getting secondhand material. Go for the good stuff. Go for the original stuff. And what did I say? Or you just said they off themselves after Filoni's death. Did I say that? I'm sorry. Oh, that was hilarious. Okay. Yeah, so think about all of that. Don't go for the secondhand stuff. Go for the authentic stuff. Floyd didn't slip there? Yes. Yes, probably. And this, the Filoni came and started the trend of not communicating and overriding the superiors. Yeah, and that's the thing. That's another thing. And hopefully we can talk more about that on the spacing tonight. So I'm going to go ahead. I didn't want to keep you guys long. I just want to do a quick, special edition CAFF chat, discuss what was being, brought out and introduced or in news with what's going on in Disney Star Wars today. And to sum it up, the Disney trilogy is not being retconned. There is no civil war. Kennedy, as far as we know it, this is not a going away celebration for her. She was on stage. She is secure. She's been cutting deals with these people who are getting movies. She's still working. Obviously, Iger backs her, or she would have been gone already because of the firing that's been going on in Disney itself, not just Lucasfilm, but Disney itself. And yeah, so there's no civil war. Everything's going according to what they're designing for the lore, for the Disney lore. And no, Doomcock was not right. The rebels set up Thrawn returning, and then this got put into motion when Ahsoka came back in Mandalorian and she's looking for him. We knew that was going to happen. It had to happen after Return of the Jedi, and it's happening. So the Rebels were right. The Rebels cartoon was right, not Doomcock or what have you. So we have that. Let's see here. Let me see what Soul Assassin has to say. On the bright side, there's going to be a lot of material for vids and streams now. Correct. I can't wait for Cringe Factor for next Thursday, right? Let's see here. Listen while cooking. Thanks dinner's ready now. Nice. What's for dinner? What are you making? They can't risk it. If she falls, she'll bring down the many people with her. I'm not going to go into theories. I don't think that if you're talking about Kennedy, I don't think so. I don't know. I'm not going to get into those type of theories. So let's see here. Warrior, outcast, rebel, Jedi. Sounds like the ripped off Revan line hero, villain, savior, conqueror. There you go. And like I said with that, she was saying, oh, well, there's not that many Jedi left, meaning that there are survivors over the OT. So where the fuck were they for Luke during the OT? Where was she for Luke during the OT? Nice. All right. So thank you guys for tuning in. I just wanted to bring in my analysis, my opinion, what's going on. I've been getting DMs and stuff since 5:30 this morning. And I'm like, oh God, I just want to sleep. But again, it happened. Everything happened. Everything's going on as according to what Iger Disney wants to go on for Lucasfilm. And that's including Filoni getting a film. Thanks, Rian Johnson, for Filoni's training. And then Dawn of the Jedi type lore coming out, and New Jedi Order 2, which again, this is a way of erasing what came before, so that when you search or want to buy the product pre-Disney, it's going to be hard to find. So keep in mind with that, Acolyte is still being produced here. There's a video that, was taken, but again, I'm not going to play it. This is just evidence here. This is the Acolyte and so on. And Kennedy's not out. None of that. So thank you guys again for tuning in and hanging out with me on this special edition. I had like almost 40 people in the chat at one time, which I greatly appreciate every single one of you guys' time spending it here with me as well. See you tonight on Spacing, where we're going to have not only more of my opinion and and everything regarding what's going on and then other topics that Tim will have, but we'll have Greg, we'll have Tim's, and we'll have Star Wars Matt Explained on as well. So come out for an excellent show tonight. I'll be coming directly in from Hot Yoga. So I don't know if I'm going to be on camera or not, depending on, when I get home. So meet us there on the Spacing on Open Airlock Policies channel. I can't wait to be there with you guys. And you guys have a good day. And look, I'm just tiny on the screen there. Let me see. Here you go. And so you guys have a great rest of the day. It's coming up lunchtime for me, so I'm going to go feed myself as well. So you guys have a good one, and I'll see you on Twitter. And oh yeah, and an EU clip or another EU short will come out on major manufacturers. So stay tuned for that as well. And you guys, may the force be with you. Have a great day, and talk to you later.
Another happy landing.